Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create my Lana Lane bracelet. This is a 5-bar wide design. I will not be doing a full length bracelet though. I will be making a small piece like this. So you will definitely need some kind of extension if you're going to do this version. If you want to do the full length bracelet, I'll have the breakdown in the description box below. And as I make this bracelet, I will tell you how far down the loom to go if you want to do that version. So for today's bracelet, you will need approximately 154 bands, plus however many extension bands you'll need. The breakdown is 50 of this purple. You'll need 42 of the white. It sits here and it also sits in there. You'll need 20 of the teal, 20 of the olive green. You'll need 12 of the inner clear that sits inside here, but you really do not see it at all. It's hidden. And then you'll need 10 of this burgundy brown right here. To make this bracelet, you'll need to have at least 5 bar pins. If you're doing a full length bracelet, you'll connect another 5 right in front of this one. But I'm just going to do the extension version today. Also make sure that your loom setup is like mine, like that. So the first thing that we are going to do is choose the zigzag colors, and that's going to be the purple on mine. I'm going to use orange jelly today. I'm going to kind of stick with some Halloweenish type of colors. So we're going to start by laying one single one at the beginning, and that's for closing it later. We're going to go diagonally to the left 2 times. And then we'll do the same thing going to the right. Now we're going to go zigzagging all the way down the loom. So for the loom length that I'm doing right now, I'm starting with this first one that I just laid going outwards. That will be number 1. I'm going to lay a total of 20 of them. If you're using 2 loom lengths, you're going to be laying 46 of them. Regardless of which number of looms you use, when you're done laying your zigzags, there should be 2 empty pins on your outer bar pin. So once you get all the way down here, these 2 will not have any bands on it. So that's just a little trick to make sure you laid the correct number, or you can just count and make sure you've laid either 20 or 46. So that's what it will look like at the end of your loom. You can see that I have the 2 empty pins with no bands on it. I've laid 20 of my orange bands on the right side. I'm going to come back to the beginning, and you're going to do the exact same thing on the left side. So go ahead and get your left side laid, and I'll meet you back here. So go ahead and hit the pause button until you are caught up. You can see that I have both of mine laid now. So it will look like this. I did push them down a little, and now we're going to pick the next color, which is going to be the white that sits on the sides here, and it also sits in here. So we're just going to be laying a single chain for those. We're going to be laying it on a total of 4 rows. I'm going to start on the right side, and I'm going to be using black for this. We're just going to lay it straight going all the way down, like so. And regardless of how many looms you're using, you are going to take this down until the very last zigzag band, and I'll show you what I mean when I get there. So you're going to stop just like that. Now we're going to come back to the beginning, and we're going to do the same thing on this row right here. On this one, we're going to go 1 past the zigzag band. Regardless of how many looms you're using, everything from here on out will be exactly the same. So you can see I'm at the end of my loom. I need to lay 1 more. So it went past my zigzag band like so. And now we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So go ahead and get a single chain laid on both of these rows the same way that we did these 2. I'm going to show you one more time what mine looks like down here. So this one will end here, and this one will end here. And I'll show you what mine looks like after I have mine laid. So this is what it will look like after both sides are completed. And now we are going to go back to our first color, the zigzag color, and we're going to kind of close it off down here, bringing it inwards. So we're going to start on the left side, right here where our bands end on the outer bar pin, and you're going to bring it diagonally in like so. And then do that again, going diagonally into the center. We're going to do the same on the right side, coming in like so. So that's what it should look like right now. If you didn't do so already, I would push them down a little bit. Now we'll choose our next color, which is going to be the teal band right here. I'm going to use this pastel, I guess it's supposed to be like a pastel green. It's very light. But we're going to come up to the second bar pin in the middle, and we're going to lay a V. So diagonal left and diagonal right. So it makes that little V shape. Keep that color close by. And now we're going to choose the color where this olive green is here. So for that, I'm going to use white. We're going to come up to the next center pin. Instead of laying a V, we're going to lay an upside down V. So from this pin, we're going to lay it diagonally going downwards to meet up with this one. Like that. And now we're going to go back to our first color. And from that same center pin, we will lay a V. Then I'll go back to white, coming up to the next middle pin, and we'll lay an upside down V. And we're just going to alternate between those two steps. So V, and then an upside down V. I will show you where we're going to stop once I get closer to the end of the loom. Alrighty, so this is the last set of bands that we are going to lay. We are not going to lay a V band connecting to the end. So you want to end with the white or whatever color you used on the second to last pin, like so. So take a second and push those down, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Okay, so now we are going to choose the color that sits inside. It's in the very middle here. You don't see it at all, so really it doesn't matter what color you use here. I'm just going to use a clear. I always just grab a random color for this part because you can't see it. So we're just going to lay a single chain going straight down the middle. So we will go all the way down until you reach your bands at the end of the loom. Like so. So now you are going to want to turn your loom around. You're going to want to grab one more of your zigzag bands, so your orange, well my orange, and we're going to place a cap band on the front middle pin, wrapping it around 2 times like so. And now we can start the looping. So if any of you are wondering if you have like another pile of bands laid, don't worry, I didn't forget to lay them. We're going to do a little looping and we will lay them next. So the first thing we're going to do is loop up that single chain in the center, the one that we just laid. So we're going to go into this cap band here and grab that top single band and loop it forward. And you're just going to keep going into the next pin, grabbing the very top band and looping it up. That's all we're going to do for this part. like so. We're going to come back to the beginning, and now we're going to start looping out the white and my pastel color here. And we're just going to be looping them back to themselves. So we're going to start on this second pin right here, and we're going to loop the white back to itself, which will be going diagonally upwards like so. And then I'll go into the next pin, and my pastel green will go down. Come up to the next one. Well, I think it's actually, that's the same pin we were just in. So go back in that pin, grab the white, and loop that out. Come up to the next one and loop that down. And as you can see, they're all just being looped back to themselves. This part reminds me of one of the other videos I've had on my channel from many years ago. I think it was the Hiawatha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, that's how this looping was done. I'm hoping you guys can distinguish these colors, because in my camera with the lights shining, they don't look that much different. So hopefully I won't have to redo this tutorial. Alrighty, so I have all of mine looped out. This is what it looks like once it's all done. So we're going to come back down to the beginning, and we're going to be working with the bands that we just looped out. So we're going to be flipping the fourth band over on each one of those pins. So on this row right here, doesn't matter which side you start on, but if you want to follow me, I'm going to start on the right side. We're going to grab the fourth band down on this pin here, which is going to be my light green. You can grab it from back here, or you can come from the front like this and grab the fourth band down. Grabbing it from the front does take longer. Make sure you're grabbing the fourth one and flip it over like so. If you want to grab it from the back, just reach your hook back. You can see that the band is right there and flip it over. You can see that it's, if you look from the side here, it's this band right here. We're going to do that on each one of those pins. I'm going to show you a couple ways looping it from the front. It's just a little harder to show you, but fourth one down, and we're just going to be flipping it. The band that you're flipping over is the same color that is sitting on top of the pin, as you can see. So I'm going to do it by reaching behind, because I just find it easier and faster. But go ahead and flip that over on every single pin. When you're done, just go back through, make sure you didn't forget any. And that's what it will look like. After doing that, you will want to go through and push that row down, or those rows down a little bit, because now we're going to lay one more set of bands. The color that we're going to be laying is going to be the burgundy brownish color that is sitting in the middle there. I'm going to use this ocean blue color, and we're going to be laying horizontal bands right on top of the bands that we just looped. So if you're looking at the middle, you're going to come up to the second row and horizontally stretch that across like so. Come up to the next one and do the same thing. And we're just going to keep stretching it across like so, but we will not lay it on the very last pins at the top of the loom. It will only be getting laid on top of the bands that have the white and the pastel green. I'll show you when I get up there. So you don't lay anything up here. It would look like that. we're going to come back to the beginning, and we are going to be doing another step where we flip the bands over on those same pins. It's going to be the same color that we flipped the first time, except it's the other side of that band. So if you're looking at this pin right here, you're going to grab the second band down right here, and you're going to flip that over. I do both sides at the same time, grabbing the second band and flipping it over. So just like the last time, I find it much easier to just reach behind it and grab it from there. It's a lot quicker, but if you are having a hard time doing it that way, just come from the front and grab the second one, like so. It doesn't matter which way you do it as long as you're looping the second band. So we're going to go ahead and do that on each pin that has the horizontal blue. Do you guys celebrate Halloween? Are you going out? Are you giving out candy? I think we might be going to a different neighborhood this year. My son wants to walk around with some friends, which saddens me because I love giving out candy. But I think I'll have somebody sit out front and hand it out while we're away. So that's what it will look like once you have all of those flipped out. So we'll come back to the beginning now. We're going to start looping it out from the front cap band here. I'm going to go into this cap band and we're going to loop the top orange band to itself, which is to the left. And then we'll go into that same pin and loop that orange band out as well. We'll do the same thing to the right side. Like so. And now we're going to be working on the second and fourth bar pins. So I'm actually just going to stick to one side. So I'm going to stick to the left side and we're going to go into this pin here. You're going to grab the bottom band, which for me is black. You're going to loop it up. After you loop it up, we have to flip over the white bands that are on that pin. So if you look on the side here, you can see that the third and fourth band down are my white bands. You can either reach in like this to grab them and flip it over, or you could have grabbed it from the back, which I will show you in a minute. After you flip them over, go into that same pin. You're going to grab the black band, which is whatever band you have that is straight on that pin, and loop it straight up. We're going to go ahead and flip the white bands again. So this time I'm going to show you that I grab it from back here. So I'm going to turn my loom so you can see where I'm grabbing. So these white bands right here need to get flipped over. We'll go back to looping the black straight. And now we will flip the white again. I find it much easier to just reach your hook back here to grab them and flip. Go in, loop up the black, reach behind, grab your two white, make sure you're getting both of them, and flip. And we're just going to alternate those two steps going up the loom. So if you're finding it hard to reach behind there, you're just going to go in between the black bands like this and grab both white and flip. Loop your straight, band forward, whoops, reach inside of it and grab the white. When you reach the top, don't forget to loop this last straight one right here forward like so. Another little tip is to try to make sure that these aren't twisted, like mine are a little twisted right now. You can fix it later too, but I like to try to keep them straight as I'm looping it. So you're going to need to do that exact same thing to this row here. I'll get you started. So from right here, you're going to loop this bottom black band forward. And then just like before, you're going to reach behind the pin and grab those 2 white bands and loop it forward. Go back to looping the black straight and then flipping the white. And you're going to alternate those 2 steps just like we did on this row here. When you reach the top, I'll come back and show you what we're going to do next. I have mine all done, and this is what it looks like once both sides are complete. We're going to now come down to the outer rows, and we're going to be looping these single chains straight up the loom. So I'm going to start on the right side, and you're just going to go into this corner pin, grab the top band, and loop it up. And we're just going to keep doing that, going all the way up the loom. So this part's very simple. We're just looping it straight. You're going to stop like so. You're going to go ahead and do that same exact thing to this left bar pin, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do next. So now that both sides of those are done, we are going to now loop our zigzags. Doesn't matter which side you start on. I'm just going to start on the right side. We're going to go into this corner pin, and I'm going to grab the orange band. It's the only one that's in there. And we're going to bring it back to itself, which is diagonally to the left. Then we're going to go into that pin and make sure you're pushing everything back until you can see the bottom orange band or diagonal band. And you're going to bring that to itself, which is to the right. Go into that pin, grab the bottom, bring it left, and we're going to keep going in a zigzag motion all the way up the loom. So just right, left, all the way up. The only thing I would recommend is not pulling this off of the loom when you're done. I would recommend using your hook to release the outer edges, or else it does kind of mess up the zigzags. They get pulled too much if you try to just yank it off the loom. So that is one tip I would recommend you guys follow. So after you reach the zigzag to the top corner of your loom, we're going to go into that corner, grab the bottom orange, loop it diagonally in, and do that again into the center. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong one that time. Let's try that again. So we'll go into that one and grab the bottom and loop that to the center like so. So you guys are going to go ahead and do that same thing on the left side, looping your zigzag bands the exact same way we just did the right side. Once I reach the top of the loom, I will show you guys how I take it off, and then we can do the extension. So this is what your loom looks like after it is all done being looped up. We are going to grab the end of this, one of the ends of that loose band from the beginning that we laid, reach down in there, bring both ends together, and you can either push your hook through like so if you have more than one hook. If you only have one hook, put a C-clip on that. If you have a hook in yours, grab another hook, and we are going to release the sides like so, all the way down the loom, and do this on each side. So we are going to put this piece to the side for a minute, and I'll show you really quick how we do an extension. So I'm going to use the same color as my zigzags. We're just going to lay a zigzag the same way that we did our bracelet. This is how you make an extension for anyone that doesn't know. And you lay a zigzag with the number of bands that you need. It really depends on your wrist size how many you'll need. You can need 15, you could need 20. I'm just going to lay just a couple just to show you how to make the extension. And the nice thing about this is you can add or take them off easily with your hook. So once you have your zigzag laid, turn your loom around. You're going to grab your bracelet, slide the bands down to the end. If you had a C-clip on it, remove the C-clip and put it on your hook like this. Make sure that you stretch both bands over the pin like so. And you can see that they're both on there, and then you're going to go inside that and start looping the zigzag up. And you just loop this all the way up to the top. I just would like to know in future videos, do you guys need me to always show how to make the extension? Or is it something everyone can do on their own? I'd love to hear some feedback, because sometimes I'm not sure if this part is actually needed. But once you loop that up, you're going to attach your C-clip to this top one right here. And then you would locate the other end of your bracelet and attach it together. Like so. So one thing that I do want to show you, depending on the bands you use, always stretch your bracelet up and down like this, just to help things fall into place. Depending on the bands you use, sometimes these pastel bands right here might be a little bit wonky if they're sticking out too much. If you come on the other side and you pull this band right here, it's the long band, it will tighten them up. You can do it on both sides back here, and it tightens them up. I've only had that happen to one of my bracelets, but I wanted to show you how to fix that just in case. But that is it. That is how you complete my Lana Lane bracelet. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button down below, and also don't forget to share with me your rendition on Instagram if you make one. I love seeing them. But that will be it for today, you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you really soon at my next tutorial. Thank you guys. Bye.